Good morning. Thank you for being here. I am Maria, manager of the Social Resarch Call, and sitting next to me, Becca, manager of the Connect Call. So today we will be talking about giving you an overview of the Social Observatory and also the Foundation. After that, we will describe the Social Resarch Call, which is the reason mainly that you are here. After that, we will have a space for questions and answers, and we will conclude. So you can add your questions in the chat, preferably in English, and we will resolve them at the end of the session. La Caixa Foundation is one of the largest foundations in the world. We have 4 areas of work: social programs, cultural, the third one is education and fellowships, and then we have research and health. The overall budget is large, it's 538 million, and around 60% of this budget goes to the social programs. The Social Observatory belongs within the social programs and has 2 main objectives. We contribute to generate knowledge in social sciences and humanities, and then we also disseminate this knowledge to the society, the general public, and the policymakers. So for us, it's very important to contribute to the society by generating the knowledge, but also to make that this knowledge is useful to the society by organizing by offering different products. So we have publications, we have activities, and we have audiovisuals. It's important that you know that we have our own web page where we disseminate the research. And we also have, within the audiovisuals, we have what we call the Café del Observatorio, where we have interviews, and surely we will have podcasts. And the activities, we organize them within the Caixa Forum Macaya, but also in other forums, Caixa forums from across the country. So the Social Observatory, as I said, it has these 2 main objectives. The first one of the generation of knowledge, we do it mainly through calls, competitive calls, and we sometimes finance ad hoc projects. So the competitive calls. We have 3 main calls. Becca will first explain you the Flash call and the Connect, and then I will move on to the Social Resarch Call. So just an overview of this. The Social Resarch, there is 1 edition a year, is open to Portugal and Spain. The Flash Call has 4 editions, 2 in Portugal and 2 in Spain, and the Connecta, 1 edition in Spain. These 3 calls, you will see that are complementary. So now we should move on to Becca, who will be telling you about the Flash Call and the Connect.
Thank you, Maria. So the Flash Call, if you could move to the next slide.
Yes.
I'm just going to give a quick overview, and then we'll get into the Social Research Call, which is the reason you're here. So the Flash Call is for projects of up to 12 months, and we offer up to 35,000 euros in funding per project to do a quantitative survey and generate new data about a given topic. These calls are in Spain and Portugal, and they happen twice a year with a different topic for each call. And the next call is going to be opening in early spring 2024. Okay, if you could move to the next slide. Okay, so then we have the Connect call, which is the other call that we have. You could move on to the next one. Okay, so the Connect call is for projects which last 2 years. We offer up to 90,000 euros in funding for research projects in collaboration between research organizations and social sector organizations. So that could include charities or third sector organizations, but also the public administration. This call is currently only in Spain. It happens once a year, and the topic is mental health and social and emotional well-being. The next call opens on the 7th of November and closes on the 30th of November. So I'm going to hand over to Maria, and she can go carry on with the next call.
So before entering into details of the Social Research Call, we will show you a video that will give you a good overview.
Of the Caixa Foundation is a space for analysis, debate and reflection that generates knowledge with a scientific basis around social issues through its own studies and competitive calls. It makes the results of this research available to society through its publications, activities and media content for stimulating critical thinking at the Caixa Forum Centres. The annual Social Resarch Call for Spain and Portugal promotes knowledge and excellence in order to understand and identify the new challenges faced by our society through studies based on quantitative data. The call is open to social research projects of all kinds, with a maximum funding of €115,000 and a duration of 24 months at most. We invite you to take part in the selection process after signing up on the programme's online platform. Once your application has been processed, international academic assessors and professionals from the social sector will conduct blind and remote evaluation of your entry until the final interviews phase.
Okay, so the social research. The social research is existing since 2019. The first edition was all in Spain, then it opened as well to Portugal. This will be the sixth edition, and this year we have increased the budget from €100,000 to €115,000. It's open to any researcher who is located in Spain or Portugal from any nationality, but the center must be in Spain or Portugal. There is one edition a year, starting in January. We will discuss after all what is the timeline of the process of application. And it's very important that it's open to all disciplines in social sciences and humanities and all topics. So, okay, what is the main objective of the call? The main objective is to fund projects that are excellent in terms of the quantitative analysis they do, that are novel, and that they are studying a social issue either in Spain or Portugal. So who can apply? People that have, researchers that have a PhD from at least 2 years and a publication in a scientific journal, Q1, during the last 5 years. So, something that is very relevant in the social research call is that the process is done in 2 large phases. The first one is the short proposal, and where you write your idea, your project in 3 pages, and then part of the projects are invited to write a full proposal, which are 15 pages. A very specific characteristic of the selection process of the social research call is that it's anonymous. That is, it's anonymous until the last phase, that I will discuss this later, the interview phase. So basically, the evaluators will be looking only at the proposal and not at the curriculum of the researcher. So it's very important that you bear in mind that when you write your proposal, it's totally anonymous. So this gives you an overview of the selection process. First, there is an eligibility period, a few days, where we check that the proposals meet the eligibility criteria. Then we start the evaluation of the phase 1, which is divided in 2. This evaluation involves the short proposal, the 3 pages that I was referring before. And it has 2 subphases because there is first 5 evaluators academic that will be looking the proposal, and then other 5 that are coming from the practical world that will also assess the proposal. Within these 2 subsections of the evaluation period in the phase 1, we will invite 100 proposals to move to the second phase. The second phase involves writing a full proposal of 15 pages with a budget and a Gantt chart, and it needs to be still totally anonymous. So until then, you have to bear in mind that anything you write in your submission and your proposal in the proposal, not in the submission. In the proposal needs to be totally anonymous. Nobody should recognize, any evaluator should recognize who you are and the institution where you work. So the process stops being blinded at the last phase, at the interview phase, because then obviously you will have an interview. But this process of the anonymity is something that is very particular to this call to help to giving equal opportunities to all the researchers. So what are the main criteria for a successful project? So we basically look 5: novelty, scientific soundness, public engagement, feasibility, and social relevance. So as we said, the Social Observatory is looking for projects that they are very robust scientifically, but they will have social impact. That's why in our process of selection, in the evaluation process, we incorporate both academics and people that work in the practical world. So the academics will focus more on the novelty of the project, the feasibility, and the scientific soundness. And the practitioners will be focusing on the social relevance and the public engagement. So we think that this combination of evaluators will guarantee that we have an excellent project, but that this project has also a lot of social impact. So this is the selection process timeline. So we are now in October, where this is the informative session. The call will open in January, the 8th of January precisely, and will be open for 2 weeks and a half until the 23rd of January. That's why it's important from now on start looking at the platform, start reading carefully all the documents, because the period where the call is open is not that long, but you can prepare everything before and even start logging in the platform where you have to submit the application. So the eligibility of the projects that applied is done at the end of January, and then the evaluation of the short proposal will take place between February and March. Then after this, we will, after the selection process of the first phase, we will communicate those projects that can write a full proposal, and you will have 6 weeks to write the full proposal and submit it by mid-April. All the specific dates and relevant information is available already in the web. So then after that, there is the evaluation process of the full proposal, when it is still blinded, and it lasts 3-4 weeks until then, and then we will communicate those who have been invited to participate in the interview around 4 weeks before the dates of the interview that are planned to be the 19th and 20th of June. The resolution of the call will be done by the end of July. So this is a process of 6 months, but it's nicely divided in two, like the short proposal and the full proposal, so that only those who are invited for full proposal will have to have these months, 5-6 months of process of selection. So what crucial steps you need to submit the proposal? These are issues that usually we try to have encountered the last years, not so frequently, but it's very important that you write the proposal in English. So that's because we have evaluators that are international. So and the call is open in Spain and Portugal. So the common language is English. Then very, very important that you remember all the time that the proposal needs to be anonymous. Then something that you have to start looking for already is who is the project, the organization manager of your organization, because this individual will have to accept your application before you can actually apply. So only after the organization manager of your institution has endorsed your application, then you will be able to submit. That's something that we have seen in the past that when people have waited until the very last day to submit, if the organization manager had not endorsed their proposal, they couldn't submit. So that's something very important to start looking for the organization manager already now. Okay, so what do we offer once the project is granted? So this will be for the granted projects. Then these are projects that last for 2 years. We will have a kickoff meeting. We will have meetings to assess how your project is doing. The ultimate game the ultimate target of the project as well is that you will be able to have a scientific article and will be able to disseminate an article of interest for the Social Observatory. So we will be looking at this during the elaboration of the project, and we will have different discussions to help you with that. We also offer a companionship during this process, and we organize a networking event every year, and some training, for example, for the data management plan, because this is something that we will ask to the grantees to develop a data management plan. So besides the grant of 115,000 euros, there is a follow-up that is taken very seriously, and we also do this follow-up with certain tools that we made available for you to help you in the elaboration of your project. Okay, so I think that now it's time to answer questions that might have arrived during the presentation.
So we have some questions on the chat and also some questions that people sent beforehand, so maybe I can start with these. Is it possible to have more than one project leader?
No, only one project leader is possible. So that's because we also give the money to one organization. So one project leader and one organization apply for the grant.
Okay, so the next one is a question that we have both on the chat and also from earlier. So can research teams be mixed? Can I include members from different organizations in my project?
Yes, teams can be formed by different institutions. The only thing, as I said before in the previous question, only one project leader applies to the grant, and only one institution gets the money, but then they can subcontract services to other researchers in other teams if that's necessary. So yes, we encourage that there are team members formed by people from different institutions.
Okay, what's the recommended size of the research team? How many people should we include?
Actually, there is no ideal size of the team. This is totally up to the project itself and the project leader who decides how large the team of his project is going to be. So no, there is no ideal size.
Okay, how about research foundations from hospitals or health organizations? Are they eligible to apply?
Yes, they can apply. But with this, it's important to bear in mind that the research that we are funding in this call is totally social-driven. That means that proposals dealing with clinical research or therapeutic interventions, validation of scales, questionnaires, or other psychometric instruments are not eligible. So yes, health institutions that are available to apply, but with projects that are totally socially oriented.
Okay. Has the focus of the call changed since last year, or is it still the same?
The focus of the call is totally the same. It's open to all disciplines in social sciences and humanity. The selection process is exactly the same. The only thing that has changed compared to last year is the budget, so that it has been increased to 115,000 euros.
Okay, and which areas of study or which scopes are of special interest for the foundation this year?
There are no specific areas that are preferred to the foundation. This is the beauty of this call, that is open to all social sciences and humanities. So that's any idea that any topic, anything is good to apply.
Okay, is it possible to include quantitative and also qualitative analysis or methodologies in the project?
Yes, although very clearly the call is oriented to quantitative analysis, so that should be present for sure. We also encourage some qualitative analysis that can complement to the quantitative analysis. So if the budget permits it and you distribute your project in a way that both ways of doing the research are needed, then that's okay for us.
Okay. And so the same question, which disciplines within the social science are eligible, or are there any priorities?
So any discipline is possible. So any topic and any discipline within the social sciences and humanities.
Okay, so we have several questions about the interviews. People want to know what's the format, will it be in English, and does it have to be the project leader that participates in the interview?
Okay, so interviews. Interviews are in English. They last 20 minutes, 5 minutes a pitch of 5 minutes, and then 50 minutes questions. Then only the project leader is invited to the interview, and there is a panel of 12 people, 8 academics and 4 practitioners. The interview will take place online. They are planned to be the 19th and 20th of June, and there will be a preparation session before that where the project manager of the Social Resarch Call will talk to the project leader and answer any question that the project leader might have and explain about the session, so that the project leader goes to the interview with a bit more calm.
Okay, so some other people want to know more about the process. So how many proposals go to the full proposal stage and how many go to the interview? Okay,
usually it's around 100 proposals that that are selected for full proposal. So from the 300-500, whatever number of proposals that we get, short proposals, 100 are selected for full proposal. And then from those, usually are 30 proposals that are invited to the interview.
Okay, and then we have some questions. People are asking if the quantitative methodologies have to include surveys or whether they can be other kinds of research.
Not necessarily surveys. I mean, you can use data that is available in the Institute of Statistics, administrative data. So the project is totally free to decide how they spend the budget. So I guess that if you decide to undertake a survey, you have less budget to pay for resources. But that if you use data that is already available. But no, there are no restrictions according to this.
Okay, so some other people are asking if it's possible to include somebody from a foreign university or research organization as an advisor as part of their team.
Yes, it's possible. As I said, the funds go only to the center that where the project leader is affiliated, but then they can hire services from any other country, so that's possible.
Okay, can I submit the application in Spanish or in Portuguese?
No, we only accept, and this is very important, applications in English. There are 3 main reasons for this. The first one is that we use international evaluators, academic evaluators, and that's because we want to avoid conflict of interest. The second reason is that this call is open to both Spain and Portugal, so the common language for both places will be English. And then the last reason is because we think that applicants to this call should be able to work at an international level and they are probably used to work in this language.
Okay, and then we have some different questions about the budget. So people want to know if there's any restrictions on the budget, can they hire somebody new to join the team, or are there any other limitations as to how they distribute the funding?
Okay, so the budget, there is a limit. It's quite flexible, but there is one limitation. The indirect cost cannot be more than 10% of the direct cost. Then the individual is could you repeat which were the details of the budget?
So are there any limitations about how they can distribute the funding, or can they hire somebody new?
No, there are no limitations. Yeah, I had answered that. So it's flexible. The only limitation will be the 10% that I mentioned. And they can hire somebody new to undertake the project. Something that is written in the rules for participation, though, is that when it's money allocated to machines or computers and things like that, they can only be used at the first year of the project, not at the very end. So you won't be able to use your budget for buying machinery at the very end of the project.
Okay, so another question is it possible to change organization after the project has been selected? So if one researcher changes to a different university, if this happens, what would happen to the funding?
Okay, that's possible. It has happened. We understand that researchers have to develop their career, and sometimes they get other opportunities and they need to move. The only requirement is that then we need to receive a letter where the project leader, the old organization and the new organization agree for this change. And once this is done, then the funds can be transferred from one institution to the other.
Okay, and can I include references in my short proposal or in the full proposal?
Yes, references are possible. In the short proposals, we encourage not to write too many, because then the short proposal only covers 3 pages, so then it's better to focus probably on the design of the project. It's possible to have them on the full proposal whenever it's needed to explain the methodology and so on. But having said that, it's very, very important that when you write the references, you make sure that you are not on it, neither you, nor your institution, so that you only write references that cannot identify, the evaluator won't be able to identify the project with you and the organization.
Okay, and then we have 2 other kinds of questions. So some are related to whether one university can present more than one project to this call, and also if they can apply to the Social Research Call and the Flash Call both in the same year, or whether they're compatible.
Okay, so a project leader can only receive funds from one of our calls at a time. Then if you are currently developing a project in a flash call, then only if you think that your project will be finished by the resolution date of the social research, then you will be able to apply. So that means if you are now having a project from another of our calls, but you are finalizing the project, then you think that you will be done by the resolution date in July, then you should be able to apply.
Okay, and the universities can send, as long as the project leader is different, they can send as many proposals as they want.
The universities, they can send as many as they want. The only requirement is that the project and the project leader is different, but then it's okay for that.
No, and I also received a question, somebody's asking here the other day, whether it's possible to apply to more than one call. So you could apply to the Connect call and also to the Social Research Call. So normally what we say is you can apply to both. But if you are lucky enough to receive funding from both calls, then you have to choose because they're not compatible if you have the same project leader. Okay, I think that's most of the questions. There are some very specific questions about the team or about some things to do with the article, so maybe it's better if and you can send them via email and we can manage them individually. And unless there's anything else you want to say, maybe that's it.
Okay, so just a quick reminder of that the call will be open the 8th of January and will be closing the 23rd of January. And it's very, very important that you do it well in advance, especially to make sure that you know your organization manager, that the project is endorsed by him, and then you can apply. So just our best wishes, and thanks for being here again. Bye-bye.